like and how she would raise you, you know. So when my sister was openly admitting she has a boyfriend, my female cousin Joy and Muteti, her brother, would not even mention they've ever said hello to a boy. And my sister, at the age of 16, she brought a boy home and said, "This is my boyfriend," and that just made things even worse for her. But you have to understand that in nature, my sister is a Taurus. She's very stubborn, she's very defiant, she doesn't like to be put in a box, she doesn't like to be told. This is just how she is as a person. And also she will not listen to reason. She'll always question everything, which all those qualities are good. They are strong qualities for a woman to have, or even a man to have. But in the African culture, you'll be seen as defiant and rude and, you know, just impossible if you question why this is done this way or why it's like this, which is what my sister was her entire stay at my grandma's. That just created a big rift that they're still not even out of as we speak. My sister is out of the home, she's in college now, and still she's not in good terms with my grandma. They don't speak, she doesn't call her like, you know, how are you doing in college or anything like that, which she does almost every week with my cousin Joy, who's in the capital city working. She finished college a year ago and she got a job in the capital, so she's in to be honest, most African parents are closed-minded, you know. They have refused to accept that culture has changed, and whatever they consider deviant may have changed over time. So we spend productive hours really just arguing with their parents over choices that they consider are poor, like your parents will consider that your choices are poor and illogical according to their standards, you know, because they do not understand that this is how the world is, you know. And for the most part, they'll just accuse you of being, you know, non-Christian, and, you know, you are trying to change the way God intended things to be, and you are being a disobedient kid who will bring sorrow to the parents. You know, there's a saying in the Bible that says a foolish child will bring tears to their mother. Yeah. And also there's this thing where they critique, judge, and harass you to make sure that their legacy is not tainted. It's more like what I said earlier about them wanting you to do exactly what they tell you, you know, and raising you in a way that they tell you, don't embarrass me out there, because you don't know who's watching you and what will come back to them. Yeah, so basically the problem with that is they are probably worried that you'll ruin all the hard work they've put in you, disciplining you, teaching you better according to them. And you'll ruin also their good name, as I said. There'll be people constantly watching you, especially if you come from a small town like me. So they try to straighten you before you go too far with your modern thoughts or arguments. And after that, they'll of course tell you, it's just that I worry about you and I love you. And you know what? To some extent, you can really understand where they're coming from with it. Yeah, so somehow in a weird way you will like try to rationalize where they're coming from just to make sense of it. Yeah, said this, grades in primary or high school basically determine your future, so that you do not, end up like the certain drunk or neighbor who literally just has no job, no money, no future. There's always someone like that in your town or neighborhood or village. So you always have to bring the best grades home, so that you do not embarrass your parents and you do not cause them pain and shame, because if you get bad grades, then that means your future is over. So yeah, you have to constantly be under pressure to perform, get good grades, do well in school, because if you do not, that's it. You're a bad child, you're a bad fruit, a bad seed. That's the word I was looking for. And lastly, kids in the African way of, thinking, parenting really, they are a retirement plan. They will always tell you, I took care of you, guilt you. I took care of you, so now it's your turn to take care of me. I actually know some cultures that when a man is paying dowry for the woman, I guess it's Sudanese, you pay according to the girl not having any signs of having a hard life. Basically, they'll tell you we are counting the dowry according to the girl, how she was raised. She was raised in a good home. Her body doesn't have any marks. Basically, when your body doesn't have any marks, it's a sign of you are raised comfortably. You didn't have to struggle or suffer. Then your education level, the price goes up. And then how beautiful you are, price goes up. And then if you can cook, clean, if you are obedient to your husband. So basically all these, if you're an obedient person, basically if you're an obedient girl, all this raise the dowry. I guess it's in the Sudanese culture or something like that. And pieces of this kind of thinking is still very rampant in some African cultures. The dowry will be measured according to, education level, family status, how disciplined you are as a person, if you basically, a lot of factors, so, which most of them are based on, parenting, and such stuff. So, your parents will expect you to take care of them when they're old. It's not like in overseas countries where you just put your parent in a home and that's it and you forget about them. In Africa, you basically move them to your home and you live with them, because they educated you, took care of you as basically they are banking on you to do the same when they're old. So also at times the traits we consider toxic behavior, to them it's more like an expression of love. I guess this is basically them loving you the only way they know how to, or them showing you like love and concern. In the first video that I was speaking about this, I told you guys about like the comparison of your parents telling you your mates are doing big things or your mates are excelling in life, just as a form of them to encourage you to aim higher, do better. given. At least I know my auntie did that with my cousin and me sometimes, but mostly, her focus was on her son. And you kind of receive some level of homeschooling because you bring your homeschool at work, you bring your homeschool, you bring your homework at home, and you just discuss with family members the things you're being taught, the questions and the question and answers, and depending on how many people live in the home, they'll discuss with you just, what they can remember and stuff like that. Depending on how many people are in the home, they'll discuss with you just the things that they remember, and basically everybody will just help you with the homework. Anyway guys, I still have a lot I wanted to talk about on this topic, but for today that's just it. Hope you enjoyed this video.